Evening, come on in. Come on in, like the video, like, share, and subscribe. We got some things to get into. I'm going to work on creating my survey as you all come on in, come on in, come on in. Come on in. Let's see, what will our question of the day be? Hello, hello. Come on in. Hey, good energy. Welcome. Thank you for liking the video. Listen, I'm about to start the poll. I have some questions. So I'm trying to create a poll for the question of the evening because it's a lot going on. Listen, let me finish my poll then because you like, listen, I ain't mad at him. It's to fight crime. Okay. There we go. Y'all make sure you complete the survey. Welcome. Complete the survey and like the video. Listen, it's real simple over here. We just want you to engage, talk your talk respectfully, answer the complete the poll of the evening. I like to do the polls because I can't really do them during the day when I'm doing my car chronicles, child. But when I'm at my desk, I can get into some things. Question: do you agree with President Trump bringing in 850 officers and agents into DC to fight the crime? Are you like, yes, we on that? Fight the power. Fight the power. Is that Public Enemy? Fight the power. He say fight the power. Trump said fight the power. Listen, we pulling up. Y'all doing the most. Benny Johnson said they damn near knocked him over his head to rob him for his car. Y'all, we getting into all of that. Y'all familiar with the content creator, Benny Johnson? Benny Johnson, y'all, was at the White House. He was suited and booted. He had him a nice little blue little suit situation on. I said, okay, we see you, Benny. We see you front row, Benny. So we're going to get into some things. Carol B. Lyon Levitt was up there at the podium. She didn't have a cross. Listen, the cross is at home in the jewelry box. Y'all, I don't know when y'all gonna see the cross. I need to get me a cross. I used to have one, and I think something happened to it, child. I need to bring out my cross because Carol B. Lyon, like, listen, I don't know when y'all gonna see the cross. So don't even ask. Just like I don't know when y'all gonna see these Epstein files. I don't know when y'all gonna see the cross. So y'all gonna see the cross when y'all see the Epstein files. How about that? How about that? So come on in, complete the poll. We got a lot of things to get into, y'all. We're gonna get into some things tonight. So I'm trying to understand, y'all, is it on and popping in DC like they say it is? That's what I want to know, because I just left from DC in April with my family for spring break. I did a boots on. You can go and check out that content. I was there for a week, so I probably covered maybe about 3 or 4 days where I'm walking around around DC. And you all, I remember being there and think how clean it looked, because I live in Georgia and Atlanta. So I'm in Metro Atlanta, Georgia. I live outside of the city of Atlanta, so I'm in the suburbs of Atlanta. So I'm like an hour outside of the city. So I remember taking note of how clean it looked. I felt safe. And I took notice of the homeless, like there wasn't a lot of homelessness. I didn't see a lot of homelessness. So keep in mind, this is like April, like first part of April, April 6th. And so in comparison to Atlanta, what I'm used to seeing when I go into the city, it was just like night and day with cleanliness, homelessness. So as of late, you know, when I've been hearing all this talk about crime being just so high and crazy, folks getting robbed, knocked upside of the head, I'm thinking like, wow, it's like that. I just left there and I just wasn't getting a sense that it was popping off like that. And I'm going to keep it real, really with how I felt. Like, I remember being there and talking with my husband, and we were like, yo, we can really live here in DC. Like, it was just a vibe. I just really enjoyed it. It's not that often we'll travel to just different places and we be like, yo, we could kind of live here. But we both kind of agreed that DC was just like that spot where we just really liked the whole vibe of it. So now to hear that Trump's like, yo, it's ridiculous. Crime is this, that, and the third. We got to bring these officers in here. Folks getting robbed. The homelessness is out of control. I'm like, are we talking about the same DC? Because I just left there. What has happened since April? So I'm hearing him say how it is, and I'm like, okay. But then I'm hearing other people talk about, well, no, crime is actually down. It's this, it's that. And I'm just gonna keep it real at how they're speaking. Those who are like have opposing views of Trump and thoughts about the crime. My sentiments in that city aligns with what they're saying it is. I'm just saying, because I just left. And so I'm like, wow, I felt really safe. And like I said, it was clean. It was just cool. It was on my bucket list to make my way to DC. So I finally did it. I did it with my family. Y'all come on in here, like the video, just double tap the screen. Complete the survey. You all always, do amazing with completing my surveys, engaging in the chat. If you can just like the video, that would be awesome. So I'm like, yo, like, I'm all for cleaning up cities. Like, I think that's great. This is what we want to do. But I'm like, why is it that I just left this place and I didn't feel like it was bad on the level of which they're saying, at least the Trump administration is saying about DC. I'm like, what did I miss? Was the robbers hiding? They're like, uh-oh, Sheik and her family here. We gonna be on our best behavior. Like, what was going on? Because it wasn't that type of vibe when I was there. So you all let me know. Put in the comments, how do you feel? Are you a resident of DC? Have you lived there? Have you gone there? Are you like, no, like it's out of control, Sheik? Like it's bad. Like it's bad. We need these 850 officers, agents. Like we need boots on ground. We need all hands on deck. Like it's that type of situation. Let me know. Share your testimony. Have you been in DC and you encountered a situation to where somebody just tried to jack you? Good Entry says, stop it. DC is gutted. So y'all talk, because I only was there for a week. So what? I was in town for, and when I say a week, like business days, like 5 days, 5, 6 days. So I'm just saying like what my sentiments was. Benny said DC is bad. Check out my content when I was in front of like the White House. I'm not familiar with DC like that, so I can't sit up and tell you like where, which streets, what parts I was in. I'm like, okay, was I not in those parts? But you can check out my content and see where I was at. But I'm just letting you know I was outside of like the district, like where I was in front of the White House, the Lincoln Memorial, like all of that. I was in that section. So maybe that area, it's the norm where it to be kind of quiet. I didn't see a lot of homelessness. I can count on one hand probably how many homeless people that I just seen. Like it was just different. So y'all let me know your thoughts on that. Already, they've already started making arrests since the officers and agents have arrived to DC. They've already been, yeah, like it's on and popping. It's on and popping out there. And Caroline did a press conference. I want to get into that because there was some points that she made or that I made note of that I want to circle back around and further deep dive in. But like I said, Benny Johnson, he's a content creator, big Trump supporter. He shared his testimony on just his experience with living in DC and getting robbed for his vehicle and all of that. And it's very disheartening. In any city, you're going to have your crime. You're going to have your crime. But what's that question is the crime rate. Not if there's crime, but the actual crime rate. So that's the question. That's what's that question. So with that being said, do you all feel like it's necessary to bring in the muscle? Is it necessary to bring in the muscle into DC? Because that's what's taking place. So go ahead, please continue to complete the polls. Let me know your thoughts. And what else? We're going to talk about, I want to talk about inflation and the unemployment numbers. Okay, so just about everything, not some of the things, everything that the Trump administration is putting out there as far as with the numbers. You got the group, the naysayers that are like, them ain't the numbers, them are not the numbers. No, those aren't the numbers. They lying. Carol be lying, Levitt ain't the only one to be lying. Listen, they lying. So I want to talk about it. I want to know your thoughts about just inflation. Are you seeing things go up? The job market, unemployment. Are you seeing people lose their jobs? Are you seeing people just getting these acceptance letters left and right? I want to talk about all that. I want to talk about ICE. Listen, ICE is hiring. Yes, they are. They paying six figures. Some of the jobs are paying six figures. ICE is hiring. I've talked about it before, and we're going to get into it some more. ICE is hiring. So we have a lot to get into. In the meantime, in between time, double tap the screen, like the video, y'all. This is crazy. Over 100 people in and only 3 likes. Like, come on now. Like, really? Y'all going to do your girl like this? Listen, y'all know I be coming bringing the tea to y'all, the political tea to you all. That's what I do every time I hit that live button. Tonight is no different. Come on in, y'all. We going to take a field trip over to the White House. Carol B. Lyon Levitt. That's the name I got for her, because she done took the cross off. So y'all know when the cross is off, y'all no telling what you finna hear her say. So I want to get into some things. She's talking, and I want to hear your thoughts. And we're going to start with listening to her talk about the officers being in DC and the reason why. So let's get it. Come on in, like, share, and subscribe. Let me see where we gonna go to. All right, so let's go.
6 months in office. Prices for everyday goods continue to decline. Energy prices fell in July, including gasoline, which is down nearly 10% over last year, and propane, which is down 2.5% over last year as well. Egg prices fell once again in July and are down 20% since President Trump took office. Shelter inflation, the largest contributor to overall inflation, is at its lowest level since October of 2021. Wage growth for American workers is beating inflation once again. As inflation declines, this continues more money in American people's pockets. American real wages are up 1.3% over last year. And small business optimism, according to this morning's report, has almost a 5-month high. Ignore the panicans and trust in President Trump. That is our motto here at the White House. The America First economic agenda is working. On another matter, yesterday, President Trump took bold action to finally restore law and order right here in our nation's capital. The president declared a crime emergency in the District of Columbia, federalized the D.C. Police Department, and mobilized the D.C. National Violent Crime in our nation's capital. As part of the president's massive law enforcement surge, last night, approximately 850 officers and agents were surged across the city. They made a total of 23 arrests, including multiple other contacts. Last night, these arrests consisted of homicide, firearms offenses, possession with intent to distribute narcotics, fare evasion, lewd acts, stalking, possession of a high-capacity magazine, fleeing to elude in a vehicle, no permits, driving under the influence, reckless driving, and a bench warrant. A total of 6 illegal handguns were seized off of District of Columbia streets as part of last night's effort. This is only the beginning. Over the course of the next month, the Trump administration will relentlessly pursue and arrest every violent criminal in the district who breaks the law, undermines public safety, and endangers law-abiding Americans. President Trump will not be deterred by soft-on-crime Democrats and media activists who refuse to acknowledge this rampant violence on our streets. He is going to make our nation's capital the most beautiful and safe city on earth, just as he promised on the campaign trail. Staying on the topic of public safety, the Trump administration continues to shatter records on border security. According to brand new numbers released this morning from Customs and Border Patrol, illegal crossings have fallen to all-time lows once again. Here were the records set in July. Again, these numbers were released this morning. The lowest monthly nationwide encounters ever, down nearly 90% from the monthly average under the Biden administration. The lowest monthly Border Patrol apprehensions nationwide ever, smashing the previous record set the prior month in June. The lowest monthly Southwest border apprehensions ever. The lowest daily apprehension average ever. The lowest single-day apprehensions ever. And for the third straight month, there were 0 illegal aliens released into the country. Let me repeat that remarkable statistic. For the third month in a row, not a single illegal alien was released by the Trump administration into the United States of America. This is historic. Under President Trump, this border is the most secure it has ever been. When you fortify the border, when you restore deterrence, and when you empower Border Patrol agents and our brave men and women in uniform to actually do their jobs to enforce our laws, like this president has, this is the incredible result. And in the interior of our country, criminal illegal aliens continue to be arrested and removed. Here are some of the criminals arrested by ICE in just the last few days. ICE Buffalo arrested an illegal alien from Jamaica, convicted of attempted murder. ICE Buffalo also arrested an illegal alien from Ecuador, convicted of leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death. ICE Houston arrested an illegal alien from
ICE is working, y'all.
Of manslaughter. ICE Newark arrested an illegal alien from Mexico, convicted of the sexual assault of a minor. ICE Dallas arrested an illegal alien from Mexico, convicted of assault causing bodily injury. And already the Trump administration has arrested more than 300,000 illegal aliens in 2025. Again, more than 300,000 illegal alien criminals have been arrested in the interior of our country in the first 6 months of this administration. And despite many false reports in the media, nearly 70% of these arrests have been criminal aliens with criminal charges or prior convictions. This is success all around. This is removing the most dangerous public safety threats from America's communities and returning these individuals to their home countries. So there's been success all around. I'm sure you have a lot of questions today. I'm happy to get to them, so let's get started. And as always, we'll start with our new media seat, who is our podcast host today, Benny Johnson. Benny, why don't you kick us off, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Caroline. As a DC resident of 15 years, I lived on Capitol Hill. I witnessed so many muggings and so much theft. I lost track. I was carjacked. I have murders on my Ring camera and mass shootings. I witnessed a woman on my block get held up at gunpoint for $20, and my house was set ablaze in an arson with my infant child inside. And so to any reporter that says and lies that DC is a safe place to live and work, let me just say this. Thank you. Thank you for making the city safe, because no parent should have to go through what my family went through, having the fire department rip open their door to save their infant child. And so thank you for your work on securing the city. My question to you is this. Nancy Pelosi has attacked the president for deploying the National Guard to the city, saying that it is to cover for his incompetence. Hillary Clinton has also attacked the president for securing the city of Washington, D.C. I'd like to get your response to Nancy Pelosi and Hillary.
Sure. Well, first of all, Benny, I'm so sorry that happened to you and Emily. There have been, unfortunately, far too many victims of crime in this city, and I know the majority of residents in the District of Columbia agree with you. In fact, a new poll from the Washington Post I was reading this morning, this was released in May of 2024. So it's quite funny how many of you in the media agreed with what the president was saying yesterday, but now once the president says it, many of you are disagreeing with him. But this poll released by the Washington Post found that 65% of district residents think crime is an extremely serious or a very serious problem, and this was up from 56% last year. So the concern that you share with so many other residents in the District of Columbia is real, and that's why this president is taking action to address it. To get to the heart of your question, I think it's despicable that Democrats cannot agree that we need more law and order in a city that has been ravaged by violence, crime, murders, property theft. This should be a winning issue for all Americans. I don't understand. It's just anything President Trump does, the Democrats want to disagree with. I think the president would love to work with Democrats on this issue to bring law and order to America's cities, but unfortunately they have failed, and that's why he's taken this historic action to federalize the National Guard. And as you're seeing from last night's numbers, we already have seen success. We are removing violent offenders, we are arresting criminals, and we are removing drugs and firearms off of the streets of the city to make it safer for all of its residents.
Just a very quick follow-up to that. Given the heroic actions of a member of this administration just a few blocks from this building, will the president consider giving the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Big Balls?
I haven't spoken to him about that, but perhaps it's something he would consider. I'll ask him and get back to you, Betty. Thanks for being here. Gabe.
Do you all know who Big Balls is? So Big Balls, that's the young man who worked underneath Doge, Elon's little team, to do the, the auditing, whatever it is that Elon and them were doing when he was working there. So he was a young man that basically he got beat up while trying to assist apparently someone else in the midst of a jacking. So they've nicknamed him Big Balls. So they're asked, Benny Johnson asked if he would be awarded, receive an award or whatever for his heroic actions. So listen, y'all, Benny said, listen, they knocking folks upside the head, kicking asses and taking names. I was one of them. So it's a whole problem out here. F what you heard. They done set my house on fire with my new baby in there, my wife up in there. Trump, get all of them. Get all of them. So complete the poll. Complete the poll. Do you feel like violence is just next level in DC? Let me know. Do you feel like violence is next level in DC? Because like I said, I just left. I was there just for a week. 5 days, probably short of a week, but I was there for spring break and I wasn't picking up that vibe, but I was there for a hot minute. So I want to go over to Fox News. So Fox News says that over 100,000 Americans rushed to join Trump's massive ICE hiring spree nationwide, DHS saying. So right now, it's a lot going on, y'all. It's so much going on. So we got the DC stuff. We got boots on ground, officers, agents in DC trying to get the crime under control. They said it's just out of order, and a lot of it has to do with just homelessness, which equates to not having a job. Listen, Caroline, listen, y'all gonna take these services or else you're getting arrested. So there's another bit that I want to share, but they're like, listen, we're trying to clean up these streets. And y'all talking about y'all ain't got no jobs. Well, ICE hiring. So damn, get your resume together and apply for ICE because we hiring. Over 1,000 Americans rushed to join Trump's massive ICE hiring spree. So let's get into what they're saying. Oh yeah, let's see this. Y'all reckon this is an actor? Let's see. Let me play this because I learned this week. Let's see what he got to say. Fair use.
Our ICE agents, who are amazing men and women, incredible.
Y'all remember him?
And they're brown, and they're green, and they're yellow, and they're Japanese, and they're whatever. They're a cross-section of Americans. They are doing their job, the job that Congress wrote the laws for them to support and uphold, and they're doing the jobs of deporting people who are here illegally. If you're a legal citizen here in this country, no worries. You're great. But if you're here illegally, you've broken the law to begin with, whatever the circumstances are, you've had multiple opportunities to self-deport, and the fact that these men and women who are doing their jobs are getting vilified, I had to stand up with them and for them, because I think it takes people standing up to change the culture.
So that was an actor, Dean. I recently learned that he have signed up to become an ICE agent. Let me see. Hold on. Okay. So he recently joined or signed up or started the process. I don't know if he's been hired already, but he's like, listen, I want to serve. So I'm on foxnews.com. It says more than 100,000 Americans have applied for roles with the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which is ICE, since the organization began a recruiting drive at the end of last month. The Department of Homeland Security told Fox Digital News. President Trump administration launched a drive to hire 10,000 additional ICE agents at the end of July, offering incentives to candidates and removing certain limits on who can apply. The total number of applicants have now eclipsed 100,000 in barely 2 weeks. The agency has received 80,000 applicants as of August 6th. Would you be interested in working for ICE? Would you be interested in working for ICE? Let me know in the comments. Just say yes to ICE job or no to ICE job. Yes to ICE job or no to ICE job. They're hiring. A lot of people are like, listen, I don't have jobs. I don't have a job. They, from the last thing I heard is that they didn't even have an age restriction on how old. I suppose like as long as you're an adult. Let's click on here because apparently they removed some age limits. Trump administration ends age gap for ICE positions in major recruitment drive. Let's see what that's saying because they made some changes. President Trump's administration is removing the age cap for immigration and custom ICE law enforcement positions, opening up roles to many who may have aged out of the force. So some of you who may have thought, oh, maybe I'm too old. What can I offer? I have nothing to offer. ICE is like, no, there's something, I guess I'm sure if you can pass the background check, then they can likely find something for you to do. Homeland Security Kristi Noem announced the move on Wednesday amid a massive recruitment effort for the nation's immigration force. Noem says they are looking to make 10,000 hires, and she said ICE has already received 80,000 applications. Quote, we are ending the age cap of ICE law enforcement. Qualified candidates can now apply with no age limit. So, child, you can be in your retirement years, because I'm hearing is a lot of these people who are elders, they're saying that the little retirement check just ain't enough. It ain't cutting it. So they're finding themselves having to go back to work. I know people who work for like Amazon who talk about working at Amazon. They're alongside of many people who had to come out of retirement and just pick up a job to supplement and add to the retirement check because it just wasn't enough. So ICE is saying, hey, those of you who thought Amazon was your only option, baby, ICE, baby, come on over here. We can find something for you to do. She also quoted, calling all patriots, submit your applications today, added White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller. So like I said, you got a lot of homeless people. That means a lot of them people that they don't have jobs. They do not have jobs. I do not believe everyone who is homeless are just got mental illness, drug addiction. No. There's this thing called the working homeless where you have people who do little jobs. They maybe do those little, what do you call those little ride share, those gig jobs, and they just don't have a place to call home and address, but they sleep in their car. Listen, those people are homeless too. So a lot of people out here are struggling. They are struggling. Quote, your country is calling on you to serve at ICE and defend the homeland. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons said in a statement, in the wake of the Biden administration's open border policies, the dedicated men and women of ICE now face unprecedented challenges in removing millions of criminal illegal aliens from our country. Thanks to the big, beautiful bill, we now have funds to recruit the hire Americans who want to patriotically serve their country and protect American communities. Let's see if it'll say, but I remember hearing that it was in the billions. I don't know if it was 300 billion, but there was a lot of money allocated that came out of that big, beautiful bill that was going towards ICE. It was a lot of money. It was in the billions. The recruitment effort comes as the agency continues to amp up operations to counter illegal immigrations, including deporting those with criminal convictions and charges on top of entering the country illegally. According to DHS, there has been an 830% increase in assaults on agents amid riots and protests throughout the country, including last month in Los Angeles. So even though, I've been covering it on this channel, though some of you, a lot of you, most of you may be new to my channel, but I talk politics over here pretty regularly throughout the week. And I talked about just the problems that a lot of ICE agents were encountering. One ICE agent a few weeks back in New York, while he was hanging out late at night with a friend or whoever, a couple of people rolled up on him. It looked to be in a robbery attempt, and the off-duty ICE agent pulled out his weapon. The perpetrator had a weapon. Basically, child was a shootout. The ICE agent was shot in the face, in I think the arm, but they said he was going to survive his injuries. The perpetrator was shot in the groin and the leg. He went to a nearby hospital to receive treatment because he was hurting. And that's when the law enforcement rolled up on him and arrested him. So that wasn't too long ago. So now we're hearing that even with all of that, people are lining up to work these jobs. But here's the thing. ICE is paying. They're paying upwards of, let me see. I had researched it. Let me see. Okay, ICE is paying up to $65.38 an hour. So that's a salary of pretty much $136,000 a year. So it's various jobs that you can work for ICE. So they can go all the way up to $136,000 a year. So if you are interested, child, go to the website, put your little city and state, find the closest ICE near you, and just apply. Let me see. Let's get back to this article. So the recruitment drive comes amid of what has been at least 130% increase in the assaults on agents. So we said that ICE recruitment website highlights 3 key roles: deportation officer, criminal investigator, and general attorney. But there are a variety of listings on the federal government's job site that it links back to. So just go and check it out. Debbie, you said, but I would not physically be qualified. So there's various. It's not just boots on ground. It seems like they're going to have office clerical type jobs. I would say just go and look on the website. I don't think it's a link in here. Go check out the website because there's different positions. So you're going to always have, your desk jobs and things like that. So everything isn't boots on ground. You just kind of got to go check it out if you're interested. But a lot of money, like I said, was designated in that big, beautiful bill to go towards ramping up ICE, because Trump his goal is for ICE to be the largest, I don't know what you call it, agency or group, law enforcement like group. Like he wants it to be bigger than like the FBI, the regular, your police force. Like he wants it to be bigger than that combined, because his goal is to round up 1 million illegal immigrants a year. 1 million illegal immigrants a year is his goal. So to meet that goal, they need more, all hands on deck, they need more people to participate. So I also talked about the incentives for working for ICE. Student loan forgiveness. Yes, they're willing to, so they're paying, it seems like they're paying pretty well, upwards of 6 figures, depending on what you're doing. And they're offering student loan forgiveness. I talked about it on a previous live. I think it was up to $60,000 for your student loan forgiveness. I think it was up to $60,000. Yeah, they got some incentives out there for you. Let me see. Incentives. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Work for ICE. Let me see what it says. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so the ICE offers several incentives to attract new recruits, including signing bonuses, student loan repayment and forgiveness, enhancement retirement benefits, and overtime pay. They are also emphasizing patriotism and a sense of national service. So the signing bonus, ICE is offering a maximum of $50,000 in signing bonuses spread out over 3 years. ICE is offering up to $60,000 in student loan repayment and forgiveness options. How many of you have student loans? Type in the chat, student loans here, or type in no student loans here if you have student loans, because they will forgive up to $60,000. So I would think that's probably, most people, probably student loans probably fall within that, but you got some out there with higher student loans. But 60,000, listen, that's still a big chunk off of your student loans if you do have more than that. So that's an incentive there. Overtime pay. Deportation officers in particular are likely to see significant overtime opportunities. Because remember, right now they're severely short-staffed. They're severely short-staffed, so I'm sure like these ICE workers are tired. They're working. They making them checks. But here's the thing, that the taxes that you're gonna have to pay still on that overtime. Listen, more money, more taxes. More money, more taxes. But wasn't that part of like the big beautiful bill, was talks about taxes on overtime? Was that like a part of it to where that was approved, where no taxes on overtime pay? I don't know. Y'all remind me on that. Was that something that, because I remember talk centered around tips and overtime pay, because right now these ICE agents, I'm sure they just making a lot of money from overtime. They're making a lot of money from overtime, but it's taxed. It's taxed. Floyd, you said OT is capped on $12,500. Thank you so much. So I guess the tax will come in after the $12,500. So yeah, you got to watch that when you are kind of, doing a lot of overtime. You got to factor in the tax. What else? Patriotism. Recruitment materials highlight the opportunity to defend the homeland and serve the country. So if you want to serve your country, remember we showed the actor Dean. He was like, listen, I seen him do like an interview maybe over the weekend. That's how I learned that he was going to be a part of the ICE team. And he's just like, it wasn't about the money, because he's like, listen, I'm making them, I do movies. Well, listen, y'all, it's not about the money. I just want to serve my country. And this is how, he feels that he can serve his country right now at this point in his life. Competitive salaries. Deportation officer salaries range from $49,739 to $89,520, depending on experience. Other benefits. ICE also provides access to various health insurance programs, flexible spending accounts, life insurance, and other standard federal employee benefits. So ICE, their goal is to recruit 10,000 new officers. 10,000 new officers. So if you are looking for a job and you're interested in serving the U.S., there's an opportunity there. But listen, Trump, we talking about jobs and all of that, but the market is not as bad as they're saying it is. So I'm like, let me do some research, because it's like, is the market bad or not? Like, let me do some research. But before we do that, let me check let's check the survey. Let's see. What our survey looking like, y'all? Have you completed the survey? Type in yes to survey, or no to survey. Type in yes to survey if you have completed the survey, or no to survey if you have not. Complete the survey. The question: do you agree with President Trump bringing in 850 officers and agents into D.C. to fight crime? 43% of you say yes. 50% say no. 6% says, I'm not sure. Interesting because it's a good number of people who are like saying yes, like yes to bringing in, the news, the media, everybody's all up in arms, but it's a lot of people who are like, yo, no, we need to bring them in. We need to bring them in. So you all continue to participate with the survey. Caroline talked about, homelessness. Let me see if I can find this part. She had someone posed a question to her about homelessness. So let me try to fast forward and get to that part because I want to get into that because it doesn't seem like these people who are homeless on the streets, they're going to have, it's either option A, you get these supports that we're offering, option B, you get locked up. But the option to be on the street is no longer an option. It, Ivan says, OMG, you're not on the car on the porch. Hey, Ivan, no, listen, it's been hot out here in Georgia. I haven't been on the porch in a minute. My phone kept overheating. And today I didn't drive into my office. I'm not driving to my office this week, so I won't be in the car. But listen, let's get back to Carol B. Lyon Levitt. Carol, remove the cross B. Lyon Levitt. Let's see what she got to say. Let's see what she got to say because I think someone had a question centered around like the homelessness. So let's see. Come on in, y'all. Like the video. It's like over 100 of you all in here and only 11 likes, y'all. This is crazy work, but it's all right. It's crazy though, but it's all right. We're going to get to it. Let's go.
About, how he felt it went. Also, completely unrelated topic. Regarding the president's efforts in Washington, D.C., do you have any specifics about how homeless people will be dealt with, where they would be moved to? What does this look like? I do, yes, and it's an important question, so thank you for raising it. The Metropolitan Police Department, with the support of the new federal agencies who have been surging on the streets of the District of Columbia, are going to enforce the laws that are already on the books here in Washington, D.C. For far too long, these laws have been completely ignored, and the homelessness problem has ravaged the city. So D.C. Code 22-1307 and D.C. Municipal Regulation 24-100 give the Metropolitan Police Department the authority to take action when it comes to homeless encampments. So homeless individuals will be given the option to leave their encampment, to be taken to a homeless shelter, to be offered addiction or mental health services, and if they refuse, they will be susceptible to fines or to jail time. Again, these are pre-existing laws that are already on the books. They have not been enforced, which is part of the reason for this nationalizing of the federalizing National Guard to bring in this assistance for law enforcement. While we are targeting criminals and trying to remove criminals off of the streets, we also want to make DC safe and beautiful, and that involves removing mentally disturbed individuals in homeless encampments as well. So we will be using these regulations and code that already exists to clean up our streets, and we've already had great success. Not many of you picked up on this, but the United States Park Police has actually done remarkable work in terms of removing homeless encampments from the city. Since the president signed this executive order in March, 70 homeless encampments have been removed by the U.S. Park Police. There are only 2 homeless encampments remaining in D.C. federal parks under the National Park Service's jurisdiction, and the removal of those 2 remaining camps is scheduled for this week. So the U.S. Park Police will be leading this effort alongside MPD.
Very quickly, he had talked in one of the social media posts about moving them very far outside of the city. Is that off?
No, it's not off. We're exploring how we can do that. But again, homeless shelters, offered addiction and mental health services, or jail if they refuse are the options on the table right now. It will continue.
So, what are your thoughts about those options? Option A, receive these supports, meaning you get support for your addiction, whether it be drug or alcohol addiction. You get supports for your mental health. Or option B, you continue to go back to the streets and you get arrested. So let me know in the chat. Are you here for this? Are you here for these options? Like option A, type in option A. Like, nah, this some bull. They should be able to be on the streets if they want to. Option B, type in option B. Option B is like, nah, let them folks live. If they want to be on the streets, let them be on the streets, child. Let them be on the streets. That's option B. You're like, nope, you need to get these supports or you going to jail. That is going to be option A. Type in A for basically you're mandating, you're requiring these people to get some type of help. That's option A. B is like, no, bump that. These folks grown, let them do them. If they want to be on the streets, let them be on the streets. Those are the 2 options. Like, that's it. Those are the 2 options. And then when you're going with option B, that means that, okay, you can go on back over there to the streets, but you can be arrested, because Caroline is saying the laws were already in place for the, they're not writing any new laws. They're basically coming in to enforce the laws that are already on the books. How about that? She's like, we're just coming in to enforce what's already here. We're not writing, listen, what they say, we're not writing a new script, reinventing the wheel. We're just enforcing what has not been enforced. And I've seen that happen quite a bit since Trump has kind of been in office, where he'll come in and just enforce things, laws, like say with the illegal immigration. It has already been on the books where it's illegal to cross the borders, to overstay your visa, your green card, all of that. So Trump has been like, yo, I'm just enforcing the laws that are already here. Like, I've heard him say and do that time and time since he's been in office. So is it wrong for someone to come in and implement things, move in a way that aligns with things that have already been on the books? Is it his fault that no one else chose to utilize them, to fall back on them, to do whatever it is that they wanted to get done? He's like, yo, like, this is here. It says that I can do it, so I'm going to do it. Well, Trump, but no one ever does it though, you know? So that's been the thing I've been hearing. Like, Trump would be like, well, I mean, it says right here that it can be done. All right, yeah, it says that, but I mean, nobody really does it. All right, then play it. That ain't Donald Jacques is Trump. Like, okay, well, that ain't my problem. It is not my problem that other people are not following the law or moving in a way in which it's outlined on the books. That's not my problem. I'm moving in a way in which is outlined in the books. So I'm exercising my right to do whatever it is that I'm doing at this time. So that's been very interesting. That's been very interesting to see that happen. But my thing is, homelessness is ridiculous. It is out of control. I live in Atlanta. It is crazy here. It's also crazy in California. That's the state. That's where I'm actually originally from. It's just crazy. It's insane. Apparently, it's pretty bad in DC as well. Even though I told you all I did not see crazy homelessness when I was out there in April, but maybe I wasn't on the side of DC where they have the camps and all that, because I didn't see nothing like that. But Caroline just mentioned that there were more encampments that they, back in maybe March or something like that, that they cleaned up, and there's maybe like 2 left. So maybe that's why, because remember, I went in April. So maybe that's why it looked different, more cleaned up, because it was coming off of them kind of cleaning up some things. But she said they got more work to do. And the goal is, I think she said by the end of the week, very soon, they're going to have those last 2 encampments removed, and it's just going to be no more. It's going to be no more. So homelessness is crazy. Floyd said homelessness is the least of California's problems. So let me know in the chat, what do you think the most important issues are for our nation, our country right now? Like, what are the most important issues? Is it homelessness? Like, is homelessness really that bad to where it should be on the forefront of conversations? Unemployment. Is unemployment bad? Is it that many people without jobs? What else? Immigration. Is immigration ridiculous to where, no, you're like, no, we need to put all focus on rounding up the illegal immigrants and moving them out of here. Caroline also talked about, in the same press conference, them rounding up already this year in 2025, 300,000 illegal immigrants. And she says, contrary to what they say, nearly 70% of the illegal immigrants that they've rounded up committed violent crimes. So she was like, listen, they got to go. They got to go. So I want to know, like, what's the most pressing issue in the U.S.? Is it jobs, homelessness, housing costs? Rent is high. Rent is high. How many of you still desire to own a home, but you're like, Cheek, I can't afford it. I done gave up on that dream. Like, listen, that dream then left, like Beyonce's concert, then like, I done gave up. Like, there's no money. Missing children. So-called You said missing children. That's the priority. Missing children. Do you think there's enough energy put onto missing children? Unknown says crime and education. We got a lot going on. It's just a lot going on. And right now, it seems like the priority for the current administration, the Trump administration, is illegal immigration. That's a top priority. To me, that seems like it's the number one priority. And then second, right now, it's giving this homelessness situation. And I heard someone mention, I was listening to someone, maybe like another content creator, and they talked about how a lot of people are in jeopardy of getting put out of their homes because of so you got people who are losing the Section 8 because of the different requirements and things, the changes to the Section 8 for that. I've seen compilations out there centered around just the EBT, the changes to that, and the amount of money that people are having on their cards, or even the type of items that they're able to buy with the EBT. Like, people are struggling. So with that being said, it's like, okay, is the current administration, the Trump administration, are they trying to get in front of this mass influx of people who are projected to soon be on the streets? Think about it. So Section 8, part of that also with that big, beautiful bill was to adjust Section 8 and its requirements and things like that, pushing it to the state versus the federal government, less money being paid out towards Section 8. So that means that's more percentage for the recipient of Section 8 to have to pay. And if they ain't got it, if they on their Tasha K, I ain't got it, where's the money coming from? Will that mean that there'll be more people getting evicted and getting put out because they cannot pay their rent because they don't have the extra funds to pay that additional amount that they are now responsible for? Child, it's gonna be bad. It is going to be bad. Let's get into some of these comments. Floyd says Section 8 freebies must be curtailed, limited resources. Martha Rodriguez, you said the government is a business and he's doing great business for the government, but not for the people that fund that government. Anton said we used to help ourselves. I think that I can see that homelessness can become worse than what it is right now, just as we look at just how things are going with the jobs. Listen, Carol B. Lyon-Levitt said in this press conference that inflation is down, the jobs are out there, so we don't know what you're talking about. We don't know what you're talking about. So I went to research what the job market is looking like. And let's get into what I found. So this is CNBC. The article, this is dated August 1st. The eye of the hurricane, why the U.S. job market has soared, economists say. So let's see what they talk about. Key points. The July 2025 job report suggests a sharper slowdown in the U.S. job growth than previously thought, economists said. Also, President Donald Trump's tariff policy is among the economy headwinds contributing to slower job creation and hiring. Economists said immigration policy and relatively high interest rates are other factors, they said. Also, job seekers face a stagnant labor market characterized by relatively few opportunities. Y'all let me know where you live, or even in your sector, whatever fields you're in. How are you seeing the job opportunities? Are they there? Are you in hospitality, agriculture, food service, customer service? Are the jobs there? Because I'm trying to see something. I'm like, what's the real situation? Because I'm constantly reading headlines about the latest companies who have announced layoffs. But though, Carol B. Lyon-Levitt get up there and she talking about, listen, the job market is Gucci. I don't F what you heard. Y'all need to listen to us. Y'all need to listen to us. So let's see what this article is saying. The U.S. job market has been showing signs of a gradual weakening, but new federal data issued Friday suggests it may have hit a long-awaited wall. Quote, we're finally in the